Сайн байцгаана уу? Энэ өдрийн мэндийг хүргэе. За, манай АМИРАгийн Debits, Credits and Coffee подкастын 2 дахь дугаарт та бүхэнд хүрэхэд бэлэн боллоо. За, манай өнөөдрийн зочноор бол Swiss School of Management-ийн дэд ерөнхийлөгч, за, Бизнесийн удирдлагын доктор Serena Magnanti хүрэлцэн ирж оролцлоо. За, тэгээд манай хамгийн анхны гадаад зочин бөгөөд подкастын маань 2 дахь зочин маань байлаа. За, тэгээд бид өнөөдөр болохоор олон улсын хэмжээний бизнесийн болон менежментийн боловсролын тухай, за мөн Серена дэд ерөнхийлөгчийн өөрийнх нь карьерийн замналын тухай маш сонирхолтой яриаг өрнүүллээ. Тэгээд та бүхэн маань тухлан сууж үзээрэй, баярлалаа. Okay, hello, good morning, Serena. Thank you very much for coming to our podcast. And today's our guest is the special guest for our podcast, Serena Magnanti, Vice President at Swiss School of Management and Doctorate in Business Administration, and she is ready to share her inspiring story with us. Okay, good morning again.
Good morning to you, and it will be my pleasure to be with you today. And thank you for inviting me. It's an honor.
Yeah, thank you for being here. We are honored to have you for this, our second ever podcast, and you are the first expert in our podcast. And our podcast name is Debits, Credits and Coffee. So we're going to talk about some very professional and serious things, but with a nice coffee. So we're drinking a nice American whole bean coffee. Environmentally friendly. So we're going to have the coffee and we'll just talk about all the journeys of, becoming a vice president of the SSM and pursuing your, DBA. So what's inspired you to pursue the DBA, to become the vice president? And could you share a little bit about your journey with us?
Oh, wow, it's a long one. First of all, I will need some coffee, which smells amazing, by the way. So thank you for that. So, long story short, I was born as an entrepreneur. I believe that it was my destiny somehow. My late father, beloved father, he had a family company. It was a huge company. And I was meant to do something else in my life. My dream was to become a doctor. But at the age of 18 years old, I lost him, and it was abruptly. And I had two decisions to make. Either, leave the company to someone else or follow his footsteps. And this is what I decided to do. So basically, picture little me, 18 years old, managing a big company, which was in the field of agriculture.
Wow.
So something very, strange for a young woman. And I had to manage 300 men.
Wow.
In a man world, in a man field and industry field, literally. And this is what I did. What happened 10 years later, the company went well. Of course, I didn't sleep day and night. So I wanted to become the best that I could. I didn't want my father's company to lose any money. I even wanted to increase, the value of the company. But at some point, I felt like something was missing. So it wasn't only, the monetary value. It wasn't just the earnings. It was, hey, we are people. We have a calling. I didn't know what my calling was at the time. But I knew that I wanted to go back to school because I spent the past 10 years learning in the field, getting my hands dirty, literally, how to be an entrepreneur, how to run a big company. And I went back to school. I wanted to get my MBA. That's how I got to know the Swiss School of Management. I went to the Swiss School of Management. I wanted to get my MBA. I got my MBA. My final thesis, it was a business plan, okay? You have to know something about SSM. The Swiss School of Management was founded 35 years ago now by Dr. Procale. Back then, he was the president and only owner. My business plan was to expand the Swiss School of Management in 5 different countries over the span of 5 years.
Wow.
But there was a but. I wanted half of the shares. And I was ready to invest.
Wow.
When I presented this business plan to Dr. Bracale, who is now my business partner, he was like, first of all, who is this girl?
Yeah.
Secondly, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is so inspiring. Such an inspiring story, from becoming an entrepreneur and a director in a completely different field that I never imagined for you to say, but it's an agriculture business with 300 men that you need to run at 18 years old. Oh my God, it's super inspiring. And then you joined the MBA, and then you proposed to the school that you can expand it and invest it. Oh my goodness.
This is what I did. Now the beautiful thing is that we are here together, me and you.
Exactly.
And you are about to officially open the 11th branch. Remember, 5 new branches in 5 years. That was 7 years ago, and now we are at number 11.
Yes.
So, if you want to say it in a way, I am the product of the Swiss School of Management. When people ask me, should I get an MBA at SSM? I will reply, well, look at me. If I could do it, everyone could do it. Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah. That is also one of my principles of, leading by example, showing it, yourself to your students. And yeah, I just love the idea that SSM family is so open-minded and so global and diverse, yet so professional. So such an inspiring story. So, shall we move into a little bit of broader topic of, how do you see the role of business education evolving in today's economy? And then we'll link it to the, of course, Mongolian new branch afterwards.
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting question. First of all, I believe that we can no longer teach business separately, like, different compartments. And this is one of the main reasons, in my opinion, to get a degree like an MBA. Because you're going to touch upon different topics. And at the end of the journey, you will have to connect them all. Just as the way FinSight does things, you have many different branches under the same umbrella. So you deal with human resources, you deal with talent acquisition, you deal with finance, you deal with so many different things. And now education, higher education, and getting your people, Mongolian people, to get an MBA. This is what, in my opinion, is the future of education. Being able to connect everything. We live in a holistic world.
Yes.
So the 360-degree kind of approach, that's the winner, in my opinion. And yeah, this is why we are together right now, probably, right?
That's true. So that is also, what we are seeing here in, Mongolian higher education, and especially, in the business education. So as we mentioned in our, first episode, our ex-prime minister was invited, and he is the chairman of the biggest university in Mongolia, University of Finance and Economics. And they have the leading programs into accountancy, business administration, and all the, finance people. So he also had the same vision that we no longer need to only teach the business. They have to experience it. They have to learn it from real life. So the vision-wise, we're all seeing into the same direction. So obviously we are so thrilled and so happy to open the SSM Mongolia branch officially here. And we have the opening just in a few hours.
In a few hours.
Super excited. And for the opening event, after the opening event, what I'm thinking is we just wanted to let people know that they can have the world-class education at home, but also have the flexibility to go around all the international campuses, have that international mobility in their professional career and life. So that's just, what I'm most happy about. And we are so glad to be part of the SSM family, so dynamic, so vibrant and professional. Yeah, and we are so happy to be the first Central Asian country for the whole branch.
And we are so proud to be here to officially open in a few hours. Yesterday, actually it was this morning at 3, I was, revamping my presentation for the opening ceremony. And I was like, hey, SSM and FinSight are like a match made in heaven.
Yes.
Because you connect the industry, you get our students to get their hands dirty.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you will put them, exactly in the workplace.
Yes.
So they study, they learn, they immediately learn then how to apply things.
Exactly.
And I believe that for Mongolian people, this is so important. Not only the flexibility of being able to study at home in a synchronous mode or in person, which is very important, but the possibility to get the exposure. So through SSM Mongolia, they can go and study up to 3 months in Switzerland. They can go in Italy, they can go to Spain, they can go to Dubai.
Yes.
They can go to Egypt and then come back here and bring back all the knowledge. And in my opinion, this is a mission for the two of us, isn't it?
Yes, it
and
is.
That's what we are going to do. Make these young people, the leaders of tomorrow. And by the way, our claim is we create leaders.
Yeah.
So we need to live up to that claim, right?
Yeah, that is so much true. So we have to create, future business leaders who are skilled and who knows all the aspects of the business, and also who's studied through with the life experiences, real life experiences, and then who is also very ethical to everything that they do. So that is the mission. Thank you very much. And let's move on to the next question. So since we're, creating leaders, so what do you believe the most important skills that future leaders must develop?
Oh, it's people skills. It's no longer B2B, business to business, B2C, business to consumers. We are living in the era of H to H. It's human to human. So the human skills are very important. People still think that a leader is the person that knows the job. It's the one that knows it better than the employees. That's not the case. If I'm a leader, I need to know how to lead people, how to lead the people that do their job at their best. I cannot be the best at every job, right? It's impossible. What if a company like yours or mine, we have several departments.
Yes.
We cannot be the best at everything. We have to be the best at leading, motivating the people who are going to do that kind of job. And that's the new leadership, in my opinion.
That's perfect. So, in the era of everybody is talking about the AI and, technological advancement, it's nice to hear that you're, highlighting the importance of human-to-human communication skills. So that is
H2H.
Yeah, H2H, as we say. Okay, so how does Swiss School of Management integrate international perspectives into its programs? Because since we have 11 different branches all around the world, so how do we integrate all the international perspectives at the school level?
It's very important to differentiate. Our students can decide to go and study in a different branch, also depending on what is their forte, what they can do the best. For example, if you want to specialize at some points in logistics, you go to Egypt, you go to the GCC. If you want to study business administration with a focus on fashion and design, you go to Milan.
Yes.
If you want to go into the public administration, eventually you will specialize in Rome, which is the capital of that. So this is how we try to integrate. And Mongolia, the cutting edge of Mongolia, will be exactly what your youth need. And this is how we try to merge all the 360 degrees facets of what business administration is.
Okay, that's very interesting. And also, as we, repeatedly mentioned, right now in the 21st century, with all the technological advancement, we need to see and experience the real life businesses. And we need to, as you say, get our hands dirty to study business nowadays, right? So now we are talking about global business education and all the, advantages of having these experiences for students. But I just want to ask also, what is the biggest challenges for global business schools today, in your opinion?
How many challenges. Most of them, and I can tell you, I can see it, in our field, in our environment, is the lack of this kind of bridge with the industry. Mm-hmm. That's a challenge, Mm-hmm. It goes back to how do we get these students to experience what they're going to do? Because once you get hired with a fantastic diploma, you went to Harvard, okay, good, what can you do?
Exactly.
That's the point. That's the bridge that we see it's lacking. And this is why we try to submerge our students in real life activities. All our faculty members are industry workers. Mm-hmm. They own their own companies. They are CEO, CFO, COO. And then they go and teach to these mm-hmm. students. This is the only way you can do that. And through that, you can get your internships, you can get your real life experience, so that once you earn your MBA 1 year and a half MBA, or your BBA 3 years, you don't only have 3 years of experience, you have plenty of that. Yeah. So what's your job? What can you do? Here, your degree talks. Mm-hmm. Not only because of the name on the degree. A degree can be a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. This is not what we want to give our students.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we want our students to study the best quality education and get the diploma, but also to have the skills to act what they learned in real life. So that is very important. So that's also what I see at, FinSat Academy and FinSat Business Hub. I mean, at first people were wondering, like, why are you doing like so many things? What's the importance of that? And I mean, I just, imagined everything in my head and on my plan before I started my company, because, as if you have a little bit similar background, I also come from a, business owner and entrepreneur family. So I was working very hard in my younger years, still are. And I entered into the university for my first year and I started working since then. So I know the advantages and also sometimes disadvantages of working and studying at the same time, but I weigh the advantages even more because I used to apply everything that I learned at school into the business and into the work that I did. And I started from scratch, just from the paper filing and everything, but I learned everything, which is very good. And also as a, entrepreneur myself, when I need to hire people in my team, I also see the same thing. Of course, you have to get the good education. That's a must. But then what's more? What can you offer to the team? Skills and also, soft skills. And the team building, it's a whole different level of things. So in the future, I wanted my future students, to get a good quality education and then to get a real life experience through our business hub, so that they will be workplace ready people, like our future leaders and talents that we create.
Absolutely. You would never want someone that excels at accounting and is a lousy people person. That's not how it works. So you're doing a fantastic job. I know people will ask you, why all these things? Mm. Well, why would you get an MBA with 15, 20 different topics? Mm-hmm. That's because the holistic part of learning how to be an entrepreneur. So I agree with what you're doing, and I believe this is the future of education.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so since we are talking about, management and business education on a global scale, so what do you think our current and future students could do in a real world businesses? What kind of changes that they will bring? I think you have already, ready examples. Maybe could you share that to our audience? I think they might be interested.
It's very interesting, the changes that will bring to the new era of entrepreneur. It's first of all the flexibility. Mm-hmm. And when I talk flexibility, I think about, the mindset. Mm-hmm. I think about, no longer being scared of what's new. You hear a lot of people, talking about AI.
Yes.
AI, it's like, it's something that scares a lot of people. Young people learn how to take advantage of the best of what new technology can give us. And it's beautiful when you can see the old generations interacting with the new generations. And the enlightened old generations are eager to learn from the new ones. And I believe that if we are good as educators, these new generations will get the best out of what's to come. After all, people were scared about radio, about television, about the internet. So this is how the world goes. And as educators, we need to put them on the right path. And that's it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so shall we get back to our personal journey a little bit? And then I want to ask you the most rewarding moment in your career life so far. Most rewarding.
The most rewarding? You have to know, all of you that are listening to this podcast, none of this was prepared. So about the most rewarding, yeah, it sounds kind of cheesy, but when the students come back to me after years, and they remember, hey, professor, when you taught me leadership, you said one thing. And usually it's a sentence, it's a concept. It's something that, stuck with them. And after 4, 5, 6 years, they tell me, hey, that's what kept me going.
Oh.
And this is my motto today. And it happened quite a few times. I can count them on a couple of hands. And maybe that's the most rewarding, especially, people coming from very different backgrounds, can be from India, can be from America, can be from Switzerland, can be from Spain, but still you can see that in their eye. They are grateful, and thankfulness maybe is one of the things that we overlook the most today. So yeah. It has to be that.
That's very nice. Such a heartwarming thing. And I also resonate because as a teacher, the most rewarding and great moments were like the feedback from the students and what kind of, impact or changes that we maybe made, but without, knowing. They just come back later and say all those beautiful things, right?
Yeah.
So that's super nice. Okay, so what do you think that if you could give one piece of advice to young professionals in Mongolia, in a rapidly developing market like Mongolia, what would be your advice?
Get the exposure. Get the kind of education that can bring you out in this world, even if you cannot afford, even if you cannot actually go there. But get the education that gives you an international exposure. And that's it.
That's it. So at the end, we learn through experiencing it the most, right? So that's great. Okay, so I think let's wrap up our whole conversation. It's just super nice. Although we haven't prepared anything beforehand, it's going very, very smooth. Thank you for that. And I just want to ask the last question as, what is your vision for the Swiss School of Management as a global scale in the coming years?
Well, of course, we have many, many projects ongoing. We want to open different departments, and we want eventually to become also University of Social Sciences, so not only business. We are about to open a new headquarters in the United States. This will allow all our students that eventually want to move abroad to get their degrees recognized everywhere. So it's not only Europe or Asia, it's also going to be the United States or Canada, for example. That's one. After that, well, the sky is the limit. One thing that I want very, very deeply is that our students can thrive. I want them to thrive. And I hear a lot of people, saying words like, I love you. you know what? I don't believe in those words because I love you puts me on a pedestal. Usually to my students, I always say, I want to see you win. When I will see you win, I know that my job here will be done. And this is my biggest hope and desire for the future.
That's so beautiful. Okay, thank you very much for sharing all this, beautiful journey of yours and your career life, and as well as all the other great advices and your opinions on the global education sector. And I'm just so happy to be part of the SSM Global family, from Mongolia, and then to be open doors of endless opportunities for our, younger generations in the future. And with Swiss School of Management, as you just mentioned, we're going to get, much bigger and more global. So I'm just so happy to hear that. And thank you very much for this lovely story that you shared with us today.
Thank you for having me. And congratulations. This is just the first day of a fantastic journey together. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.